for the NFL draft, one of the best times of the year, and we get to put team to these rookies where we have done so many mock drafts. It is draft eve, baby, and we're doing a PFF simulated landing spots. Y'all know what it is. It's sports and fantasy. Let's get into
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I don't follow no script. I make my own lane, got a spreadsheet mind and a red rat brain. Dynasty beats got that tape in my veins while they drafting by names. I'm exposing their game, no cap. We study the craft like film room rats. Gyms in the fourth while they stuck in the past. It's levels to the dynasty, keep or flex. From rookies to pros, we demand and respect. That's real. And I ain't never need clout for my clout to show. Just a mic I take and a team I grow. This ain't just picks, it's principle G. It's fourth in fantasy where you build your legacy. We 10 toes down, yeah, we stand on.
We're 10 toes down and we stand on back. Good day, good evening, good morning. However you're viewing us, wherever you're viewing us, hope your day is going well. I am Honcho, and this is my guy.
Siriaku, call me Raku.
And we are back for Draft Eve, the day before the NFL draft, waiting to see what your favorite NFL team does, whether they're going to let you down or send you running outside your house naked because you absolutely loved the pick. I'm waiting to see what my Cowboys do. Rocco, how do you feel about your New Orleans Saints the day before the draft?
We going streaking.
You going streaking?
Kids, we're just making podcast content, children. Uh,
We going. We're going
oh man,
streaking.
I am excited, man. We may be getting offense, a little juice in the first round, and I couldn't be happier to see the team just continue to build around franchise quarterback Tyler Shuck. I don't care what anybody says; it's facts. Deal with it.
So, who is your favorite pick for the Saints to take right now?
Who do I want them to take? Um, it's been the same answer for a minute now. I think Makai Lemon is my guy. I think Tate's going to be gone, and he's a lot of people's wide receiver one, but I can see him going to the Cleveland Browns at 5. Tyson is intriguing, but he's also worrisome with his injury history. Lemon is just a dog, and I think we need some more of that on the offensive side of the ball. I think he brings a little something that we don't have, on the offensive side of the ball, and another target earner out there to put alongside Chris Olave. I don't really care about the slot only treatment that he gets. You know, Jackson Smith and Jigba was a slot only guy. CD Lamb was a slot only guy, and wow, they can play other places if they can get open. They can work anywhere in the field. And if they draft him at 8, they will definitely have him on the field. So I'm not worried about that stigmata that he's a slot only guy. If he gets drafted high enough, teams will have a plan for him.
No, I think with the New Orleans Saints, y'all should go wide receiver where you have Chris Olave, you have a quarterback who was showing some good promise towards the end of the year. I think Olave could use a solid running mate now that Shaheed is out of town, and where the other guys that you have aren't very. I mean, they're cool. I think they're decent, but you need a solid wide receiver too to pair along with Olave. And then Juwan Johnson, he's a solid tight end. He came along to be top 10 of last year. So you have the building pieces, you have the building blocks, you have Travis Etienne, and a good, solid, I believe, a offensive play caller. So add another weapon to the piece, whether it's a Makai Lemon, whether it's a Carnell Tate, whether it's a Jordan Tyson. If you saw his workout from his private workout he did for NFL teams, he was getting a lot of buzz, whether it's people talking about his biomechanics of his knee or how well he looked running routes. He did look explosive. I think one of the things that I hold against him sometimes is that he jumps early. Yeah, he has some untimely jumps where he jumps mad. I won't say he jumps mad early, and it looked good. The one catch where he jumped high, catch the ball, turned around. it looked good, but if there was defense right there, he would have definitely jumped a little bit too early. But nevertheless, if you can get past the injury history of a Jordan Tyson, then I think I wouldn't be too far of, or I wouldn't fight people who would think he is the wide receiver one, because I think he moves differently than Carnell Tate. I think he moves differently than a Makai Lemon. I still think Makai Lemon can be somebody, and people were like, "Oh, he's 5'11" or something." Woo, woo, woo. And so is Malik Neighbors is 5'11. Amon Ross St. Brown's 5'11. So I'm not really tripping or bugging about Makai Lemon's size or the fact or his he's not blazing fast. I think the way he wins is he wins as a wide receiver. He doesn't really need to be an all true athlete. He knows the nuances of the position. So, but that's enough of that for the Saints. But I do want them to drop a wide receiver. When it comes to my Cowboys, I really, I think we need a lot of help with defense. But Brian Schottenheimer has pointed to, if there's an offensive player on the board, we're not going to shy away from that, whether it's a Jordan Tyson or a Jeremiah Love that makes it to us, which I don't think neither will. And I hope they don't, because I would want us to draft a defensive player. But, we're going to see how that all turns out tomorrow, where we have first round Thursday, second round Friday, I believe third, fourth, and fifth, or third and fourth Saturday, and then fifth, sixth, and seventh on Sunday to finish it out. A long couple days, but today we're only going to do 3 rounds of a simulated mock draft and see where the landing spots are. But nevertheless, let's get that on the board and see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's where I wanted. Yeah, that's more on that way. There we go. Or was it this one? No, it definitely wasn't that one. Guys, we're going to get this going. There we go. And then if we resize it, no, that's not it either. Come restring. I need some more options on the way we can arrange our screen, my man. This is crazy how we got to go about this. I gotta make lifetime decisions on if I want to be on the big box, the little box. It don't make no damn sense.
That might be the one.
That might be the one.
Like that.
That might be the one.
It's cropped a little bit, but I can see it.
That might be the one. So we're gonna go ahead and get this draft.
What smell like?
What the smell like? Oh, I heard that one before. What the smell like? What it do, Addy? And what the smell like, my boy?
I fought it, so I don't know if that's what you're smelling through the screen.
Now I gotta restart this. There's no way that Jeremiah. Not hell no. Restart this shit. There's no way that Jeremiah Love.
PFF trips sometimes. Like they
what the fuck we got going on here?
Like, let's put people when nobody in the world's predicting people to go.
I'm telling you, like, there's nobody has Jeremiah Love going to the Jets right now.
I don't think Mendoza's going number 1 at this time.
No, let's
Jerry Love, number 1.
Oh, there we go. Arvell, we got, you know what I'm saying? We're getting good picks now. This is what
I think. Okay, I could dig that.
All right, so far, y'all, and once again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, we have Fernando Mendoza, the unanimous first overall, who we all think is going to go first overall, unless something crazy happens. You never know. The Jets could trade up to get the quarterback, and Raiders go back and lean on Kirk Cousins. Who we got to see, right? But Fernando Mendoza goes the first over. Then we got Jeremiah Love. Shout out to our boy Crispy in the Discord who actually did a poll. I actually selected Jeremiah Love. It was, where would you want to see Jeremiah Love go to? I put the Tennessee Titties. Shout out to our boy Chev. I would think he would be nice.
Love titties.
Love titties. I think he would be a good pairing.
That would sell a lot of jerseys. I'm telling you, what the hot jersey is gonna be next year. Love titties.
Now we have the New Orleans Saints on the clock. Rocco, who or what do you want to see direction you want to see those Saints going? We still got Carnell Tate on the board. We got Makai Lemon.
Everybody would go Tate right here. Whoa, yes. Chev is in the building.
Jeff
He
is in
he
the
heard us talking about he heard us talking about his titties, and here he is.
Chef is in the house, Playboy.
Oh, that sounded so bad. Oh man,
Chef,
I got my choice of all of the wide receivers. None of the wide receivers came off the board. I don't think this is how it's going to go tomorrow night. I do believe that Tate is going to go to the Browns tomorrow night. But with him on the board, I have a decision between Carnell Tate and Makai Lemon.
what do you feel like your tight ends like? What do you feel like is their archetype? They looked at both. They brought both in for a visit. Lemon, Tate. Who do you think would pair well with Chris Olave on the outside?
I think if Carnell Tate's on the board, we're going Carnell Tate. We like the Ohio State connection. You know, everybody wants us to draft LSU players, but what the Saints really do is draft OSU players every year. I think it's going to be between him and Caleb Downs. If they go defense, I can easily see the Saints going Caleb Downs. He's just a transformational type guy in the back end, and he'll make that entire defense a lot better. But the way I like to build. If you got a franchise quarterback, I like to build around that franchise quarterback and add as much talent as possible. So in this situation, I don't think it's reasonable to expect Tate to be there based on everything we've heard, but I'll go Tate just so we have that prototypical X outside, and he'll absorb the number one, and we'll have Olave just running wild everywhere, getting 150 targets, and possibly moving into that upper echelon of wide receivers in 2026.
And now my Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. We are in a very big dilemma because this is where I didn't want. Both Makai Lemon and Jordan Tyson are on the clock. And me knowing my Cowboys and hearing from Brian Schottenheimer, we would definitely lean towards Jordan Tyson over Makai Lemon. But this is what I don't want. I would want Jordan Tyson to come off the clock, to come off the board, so we don't have to take him, so we can go on the defensive end. So it was if I'm literally thinking, and we just came out today that we are not going to get a long-term deal with George Pickens signed this season. He's going to play under the tag, and I could very well see a season where he plays next year under the tag, unless we go get ourselves a Jordan Tyson here, who I think at 12 is almost reminds me of the CeeDee Lamb when we got him that year, where you saw who was it? You saw the old boy from who went to the Raiders go. You saw Jerry Judy go.
Ruggs?
Yeah, Ruggs. You saw Jerry Judy
Yeah, that's
go.
because they were on drugs for Ruggs.
And it's like he's basically Jordan Tyson falls to you here. I know drafting Jordan Tyson right now would almost probably mean the end for George Pickens in Dallas. Breaks my heart, but I could very much well see them doing this. So I'm gonna go with Jordan Tyson here.
Oh man, my floor noise stomps just got lit up in flames. Put them in a backwood.
Put them in the backwood. And
speaking of Chef, we're gonna have to do that podcast where we talk about who's gonna be put in the backwood, who's on the edge of being put in a backwood. That was our first Chef centric episode with him, and that was a banger, man. We're gonna have to bring that one back after the draft
for sure. But Jordan Tyson came off at 12, and then we had, and just on the Jordan Tyson part, if Jordan Tyson ends up, and mind you, he's what I say, he's unanimous. Like one, we got Jeremiah Love 101, and then most of the time either Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate, just depending on how you feel about them. they're interchangeable. So let's just say Carnell Tate, or if someone feels higher, or oh yeah, let's go Carnell Tate 102, Makai Lemon 103. You can, like I said, you can interchange those. Jordan Tyson is most likely the 104. If he goes to the Dallas Cowboys, are you selecting him? His rookie year probably not going to have the same impact as Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate, especially if Carnell Tate goes to the New Orleans Saints, and especially if Makai Lemon, he just came off 2 picks after, goes to the Baltimore Ravens. How would you feel about Jordan Tyson and selecting him in the rookie drafts if he goes to the Dallas Cowboys?
And this is with Tate on the Saints and Lemon
Yep,
on the Ravens.
correct.
Mm, I don't think he moves that much for me. You
Because
still
it's
have CD Lamb there. You still have George
George Pickens for a
Pickens.
year. Yep.
Um, does this make Pickens a trade candidate? Possibly. Um, you know, I, I can see it, but I mean the way that the Cowboys defense performed last year, I feel like they have to go defense. It just feels like a luxury pick when the defensive side of the ball in Dallas is kind of flailing, and they already have two number one wide receivers in house, and you got a good number three, a good number three with some upside in Flournoy there. Um, he seems a little bit blocked, so I think he's still going to be my
Rookie year.
three. He could slide to four depending on where KC goes, because I really enjoy watching some KC tape as well. So
KC
it's
Concepcion.
close to becoming a big Ford, depending on how his capital you know pairs out and where he lands. But um, I don't think it changes much for me. But it is an intriguing spot, and it could signal that the Cowboys are going to trade Pickens.
What's a more sexier spot for you? Makai Lemon to the Ravens or Carnell Tate to the Saints? With Makai Lemon, probably if Makai Lemon ends up going to Baltimore, I think that singles the confidence that they have in Rashard Bateman, who had a semi breakout year maybe 2 years ago, very much went the other way last year, right? And I think at this point he's almost a fringe. Like, do you drop him? What do you like? What's the next step for Rashard Bateman and Makai Lemon
Perfect.
and Zay Flowers? I think that's a killer combo, especially to help your boy Lamar Jackson out. And I think even more where the team is more motivated. It seemed like John Harbaugh getting fired elevated the whole locker room, brought some joy, brought happiness. You know what I mean? So getting Lamar Jackson another key piece in that building, I love that spot. And I think Makai Lemon would look dope in their all black uniforms. Who has in their rookie year, Carnell Tate or Makai Lemon? Who are you choosing to have a bigger year if this is how it turned out?
Um, I'm probably going with Tate. I think that the Saints project as a better offense today. But that could easily turn around. I mean, Lamar Jackson is coming into camp motivated. They got a whole new offensive staff, so that's a tough one actually.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Makai Lemon, I think I'm holding on to my priors, and these are interesting landing spots for sure, because there is a true number one in both spots. I don't see either one overtaking the number one there anytime soon. So both of them are going to be true number twos. If they pan out. Um, that's an interesting. I think I think I like Tate better, but oh man, you're splitting hairs there.
Oh no, it was. Why did it
The one round
boom?
draft.
It was supposed to be a 3. What happened? Well, let's. I could restart it again, but and from let's see what it put.
Run it back. Run it
That's
back.
actually
We don't do 20-minute podcasts.
that's
Run it
annoying as
back.
hell. I literally put 3 rounds, unless I went back and changed it. But the rest of the now that shit pissed me off. Now I gotta go back. But god damn it, yeah, that shit just pissed me all the way off.
All right.
Can't even lie.
You got this. You got the Cowboys. I got the Saints. Run it back.
Run that shit back.
Run it back. I low key hated some of those landing spots.
Hopefully it's the same way. Jeremiah Love again, Ruben Bain. We're good. Carnell Tate again.
Fuck no. No, we're going lemon this time.
All
Fuck
right, let's
Tate.
go lemon this time.
Not-
A lemon meringue pie.
Not saying I don't like the gentleman, but I just want to see a different build here.
Oh snap! Just because of that, because you went Makai Lemon instead of Carnell Tate, the New York Giants decided to trade up. And for actually, never mind, not trade up. They already got this from trading Sexy Dexy. The Giants take Carnell Tate to pair with Malik Neighbors. Now let's flip this a bit. Now, Carnell Tate. Now, how would you like to spot with these spots? McCon Lemon went to the Saints. Carnell Tate goes to the New York Giants. Tate gets Jackson Dart. Makai Lemon gets Tyler Shook. What are we thinking about these offenses?
Makai Lemons remains my wide receiver one. I love Makai Lemon in an indoor stadium for over half of his games in 2026. I think he's gonna come out. He's gonna demand targets, and I think he's gonna be your rookie of the year.
And once again, Jordan Tyson makes it all the way to the Cowboys again. Fan Cred, our boy is in the house. Sup, Honcho and Rocco. Let the Seahawks get someone good, please.
They ain't getting nobody good. They're gonna get Mike Washington as their new running back one. Nah, just joking.
And Keon Sadiq,
First round.
That's a once again, and I've seen even in real mock drafts or in actual mock drafts done by experts, I've seen Keon Sadiq mock to the Buccaneers so much at this point. It's so hard not to see him already in a Buccaneers uniform, where I think he actually transcends that offense. Where K. Otten is just a guy. He's a jag. He has a random good game, and then for the rest of the season, he's okay, decent. I think he improves that offense, makes it more athletic. Where you have Amika Buka going into year 2, we have to see how that running game goes and how they figure that one out, and they split the shares. But they still got Jalen McMillan. They still got Chris Godwin. Yes, rest in peace, Mike Cade Otten shares. It would be a wrap for that.
I mean, your Cade Otten shares died a long time ago. I'm pretty sure. If you didn't sell when everybody got hurt and he had that short stretch, you missed the boat. You can drop him now. He's droppable. Omar Diaz has the best record I've ever seen. I think I want to say he won like 8 championships in 2025. Basically, every league that we share, he won the championship in, and that guy knows his stuff.
So we've got to the end of the first round, and as it went by, we had a few guys, offensive players, come off the board. Omar Cooper Jr. goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. They loading up, getting ready for AJ Brown to get shipped out to New England Patriots. And I think Omar Cooper could be the reincarnation equivalent of a Jeremy Maclin. Jeremy Maclin, where he was a beautiful wide receiver too, along with Deshaun Jackson, and they were one of the best duos in the NFL during their times. I enjoyed watching them play, and I think Jeremy Maclin was very much underrated. He had injuries to deal with. I think Omar Cooper, Hawks trading down. Hey, you never know, Morrison. You never know. But I think who knew who I could see them taking actually the Seahawks getting another safety and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. That's what I could see. Another safety for them.
Jonah Coleman, wide running back one,
Hey,
Washington to
make it happen.
Washington.
Make it happen in the second round. I would not be upset at it. But they went cold. The Seahawks went Colton Hood here. We're not doing defensive players, but I do love. I would take Colton Hood if the Cowboys at 20. I think he's one of the better man coverage cornerbacks in the draft. So, but how could I skip this one? Denzel Boston. Some people are much higher on Boston. Some people are lower on Denzel Boston. Some don't believe. Some think he's just another guy. Denzel Boston goes to the Miami Dolphins to go with Malik Willis, a Jalen Tolbert, a Tutu Atwell, a Malik Washington.
Yeah, so they don't have anybody there. That's the best landing spot for any wide receiver in this here draft.
I,
Not saying it's the best offense, but it's the best place where a wide receiver, a rookie
targets.
wide receiver, can get year one targets and get them fast and plentiful.
Because some people would say they have Denzel Boston as high as their wide receiver 4. Would you, if Denzel Boston went to the Miami Dolphins and you saw Omar Cooper Jr. go to the Eagles, would that push Denzel Boston ahead of Omar Cooper Jr. for you?
Say that one more time. I was responding in the chat.
Oh no, you're good. So if Denzel Boston goes to the Miami Dolphins and we have Omar Cooper Jr. goes to the Eagles, would Denzel Boston jump Omar Cooper Jr. for you just because of the targets?
I already had Denzel Boston ahead, so he would stay ahead.
Damien's in the house too. Yo, what's good, my guys? What up, Damien? Long time no see. I want Bain or Downs at 8. Rocco, and let's take a wide receiver in the second. What do you feel about that one? How do you feel about Downs? I think he would be y'all best safety almost since you could say Matthew, since he was a Saint.
Yeah, Matthew wasn't really. He was kind of washed by the time he got to us, to be honest. I like Downs. I think that if we don't go wide receiver, Downs would be the guy I would go with, just because I think he makes the whole defense. I think he'll make any defense he goes to better.
Agreed.
Just having that guy back there, organizing, the back half. Because if you know Saints, I mean, Damien can tell you this firsthand. The Saints have always been shaky in the secondary. As far back as I can remember, even during, even way back, before the Breeze era, the Saints have always had guys that just get toasted back there. Even when we had good defenses, the long ball was
the
was a
Roman Harper
problem.
days.
Yeah, it was a Roman Harper. I think he's in jail right now for slipping roofies to ladies.
I got dark.
In like 3 different states. So hopefully I got the right guy. But yeah, Roman Harper, he's even more terrible than Deshaun Watson. So yeah, we'll kind of forget that he ever played for the Saints. Where was I? Yeah, but Downs is a guy for me. I do not trust the Saints drafting defensive line at all. So I'm intrigued with Baines. I think he could be really good, but I have a little bit of PSTD from the Saints bust at defensive line. So I'll do Downs if we don't go receiver. That's yeah. Fred Thomas toast.
Yeah, man.
DJ
Show some
Williams, yes, indeed.
Rhino said, Commish Rhino, our guy says, man, show some respect for Tutu. He's
I
Team
mean,
Tyreek Hill.
just think about the Diggs play at the Minnesota Miracle. Shit like that has happened. I know it's happened to a lot of teams, but it's happened a lot, to the Saints. So, if we can get like, an all pro caliber or potential DB back there, safety, I'm with it. PSTDs, yep.
PSTDs. And we Saints are on the clock in the second round. But the first pick in the second round, Mr. Ty Simpson goes to the New York Jets. They get their quarterback of the future. And I know some people are very high on Ty Simpson. I don't know how to feel about his evaluation, where we saw a very honestly a very mediocre Alabama team. They were okay, but I still don't feel like they played up to their Alabama potential. The running game was in. The passing game, we saw it took a back for it. Ryan Williams took a step back. Simpson was decent. I think if Garrett Nussmeier was healthy, then he would be battling more for the QB2. But I think majority of people are, especially since Chambliss went back to school, are pushing Ty Simpson to be QB2. I'm not going to fight you too much on it, but he is selected by the New York Jets. See, I think me and Shep are literally right, neck on neck on that one. Ty Simpson is either AJ McCarron or Brock Purdy. There's no in between, and that's kind of how I feel with it. I feel like he's either going to be a startable quarterback or he's going to be out the league in like 4 years, right? So, or a very career backup type worthy. So, I am going to let somebody else take themselves a Ty Simpson, and that would almost push him back into that second round, or definitely have him in that second round discussion. But I'd rather take the value with Nussmeier in the third, and also a Drew Allard in the third, and try to go somewhere else in that second. I think that New York Jets picking him in the second, basically almost at the first round, end of first round, would push Ty Simpson more in that early second round talk for folks.
That's a terribly wasted pick by the Jets. The Jets should be pushing all in to get a quarterback in 2027. They should be trying to lay the groundwork for whoever comes in 2027, not wasting the first pick in the second round on a fucking Ty Simpson. Let somebody else move up for that guy.
I won't talk. I know we say we're not gonna talk about defensive players, but if Peter Woods goes to the fucking Tennessee Titans, I'm gonna lose my shit, because for them to get for them to get one of, honestly, he's a first round talent in my eyes. For them to get Peter Woods to go along with the already studded defensive line, boy, crazy. But
Imagine waking up early on Saturday with the Woods.
I'm telling you. But Casey Concepcion, I'm not sure if this would kill or boost his, I guess, draft stock of him going to the Las Vegas Raiders and being paired with Mendoza.
If KC goes to the Raiders, he's probably going to jump one of the other wide receivers for me. It's just so much opportunity there. I mean,
Jack Beck,
I like Beck. I love his story. But he was year 1-0, so I'm a little worried about him. They did sign Jalen Naylor, who I think is going to continue to do what he does best, which is be a boomer bust wide receiver 3. Casey Concepcion could go there and be, the 1B to Bowers 1A in Las Vegas. And they're set up at quarterback. They have Kirk Cousins, who's going to start until Fernando is ready. So I think What that tells me is they're going to have competent QB play all year. So you give me competent QB play, you give me a target hog with Brock Bowers, taking away, coverage, and you have an easy runway for Casey Concepcion. So if he goes to the Raiders, you know, he's looking a lot more sexy at wide receiver 3 than Jordan Tyson, who's going to be behind CD Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah, I think context wise for the rookie year, everything's going to really play out, or you're going to have to see with these landing spots where if they're going, like, let's say, yes, KC Concepcion, he really only has to be out at Jalen Naylor, who they just gave money to, but he's not stopping nothing. He has to beat out Dante Thornton. He ain't stopping nothing. Jack Batch, he ain't stopping nothing.
Dante Thornton stopping Dante Thornton.
Like,
Same thing with Besh. Besh, you need to prove that you can play, bro.
so
Before you, if I got you stashed at the end of some rosters, but you don't come out firing in 2026. You're gonna be on waivers, bro.
it's not going to be looking good. But Saints are on the clock
Come on
right
the
now.
clock.
On the 42nd, who do you think y'all took a wide receiver in the first round? What do you think you're doing in the second?
I'm gonna go. You know me, I would just pick fucking wide receiver every round, but I need to be more realistic. Um, Pons looks good. I think he can be. We need help at corner. Chris Bell has been leaked to be on our radar because of the Louisville connection. Um, but I think we just lost Demario Davis. So I want to bring in another sideline linebacker. This may be a little bit early, but it's a weak draft, so positional, uh, you know, positional, whatever you call that, kind of goes out the window. I'm gonna go with Jacob Rodriguez right here, who was just awesome
He's a first
down
round.
there.
That's a first round linebacker right there.
Awesome down there in Mobile, and I think he is the 1-for-1 replacement for Demario Davis. I did like Pond, Chev. I could definitely see them going corner because, like I said, we've had problem at cornerback
Chris,
in years past in the secondary as a whole. So, but I like Jacob Rodriguez. I think he would. I think he just kind of immediately walks in and is going to be a tackle machine.
Chris Johnson is a dog too. So that's a nice little shout out from Chev. I would even be happy with Chris Johnson at 20 if Cowboys took him. I think he has Chris Johnson is one of the more patient corners in this draft, and his feet work is stupid. I mean, like, man, when I say he mirrors a wide receiver, that boy da 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 da. If you ever seen them African dances and they do da 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 doing crazy shit, I'm telling you, Chris Johnson footwork go crazy.
They go crazy when they drop the oh shit. I had something lined up and my brain just
Chris Bell.
It went in the ether.
We have a couple wide receivers that come off the board here. Baltimore Ravens like Chris
Baltimore
Bell.
must hate they all the wide receiver 2s and wide receiver 3s because they go wide receiver back to back in this draft.
Yeah, they first went no, actually in this draft they went Dylan Thiemann from Oregon. So they picked a safety who I think could be a safety, a nickel, could play a little bit of corner. I'd actually think he's one of the more versatile guys in this draft. Good pick by them, for sure. Now, Chris Bell, I just saw a video of him today running on a treadmill. I believe they were saying he was running at like 18 miles per hour. I'm never really worried about someone running straight off of ACL. I want to see the cutting. That's what I want to see. I want to see you break. I want to see how you get in and out of your routes, right? Running in a straight line doesn't really do much for me. I want to see how you stop, right? I want to see how much you trust that knee going forward. But if Chris Bell is healthy, I think he is a solid piece to pair along with your good guy over there with Zay Flowers. And honestly, Bill brings back another bigger body. Honestly, I think he doesn't play like he doesn't have like he's a much more athletic than this person, but brings back like that Anquan Bolden type body. You feel me? That they've been missing for sure. So I like the piece. Jeremy Bernard goes to the Indianapolis Colts to replace Michael Pittman. They pair him with Josh Downs and they pair him with Alec Pierce. I think that's a solid piece right there. Where Jeremy Bernard can play inside, he can play outside. He gives you yak ability, more yak ability than Michael Pittman, and he can be your intermediate, shallow, short, underneath kind of guy that you get the ball to, while Alec Pierce goes deep. But even though we did see,
is that going to be some kind of a little bit of duplication with the Downs, or?
No, because I think where Downs, he's more as your slot guy, whereas Bernard, I think he can very well be your Z and live and survive out there, no issues at all. And then we have another wide receiver come off the board, but I do not love this spot here. Chris Brazil goes to the Los Angeles Chargers, Rocco. That means if in my mind, that would mean they're either out on Quentin Johnson, and I do believe they think highly of Trey Harris, so I'm not worried about that. Ladd McConkey is holding down the slot. That would be direct, because one, they're basically around the same size, and Chris could either play the X or be a high caliber 2 potentially down the line. Where the other side, Quentin Johnson, I think you would either try to trade him because you don't want to have to. I don't think they picked up his 5th round option. So yeah, I don't like the spot with Chris Brazil, but I would have to see what dominoes fall after that. If they select him, is Quentin Johnson out the building? If so, I can work with that. I can work with a Ladd McConkey, Chris Brazil, and a Trey Harris lineup to go along with a Rondé Gasson, a Marion Hampton. I can work with that for sure. How would you feel about the landing spot with the Chargers?
I kind of dig it. I don't. It just seems like they have a lot of guys there, so I'd have to see how it all shakes out. I can see him that he would definitely be. He would continue to be like a developmental kind of guy. But if it gets Quentin Johnson out the door, then that's cool with me. Just seems like another big outside guy, but maybe he can squeeze that football just a little bit more consistently than Quentin Johnson ever has. And I think Quentin Johnson, the highs are tantalizing, but I don't feel like he's a guy you can ever truly 100% trust in crunch time or deep into the playoffs. So I feel like he's gonna go at some point. And maybe it might be better for him, to go somewhere else at this point. Maybe go to how they say it, more shit type of squad, so he can kind of just rack up some targets and put up some numbers, because I don't think he's long for San Diego or Los Angeles. Actually, They don't play in San Diego anymore.
Yeah. And then we got Eli Stowers, which I honestly, this probably will piss me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would feel like that's just a waste right there of his potential, what he could be, unless he ends up just starting over Britton Strange, right? We always like a little strange things out here, but
Strange is always a beautiful thing to have on the menu.
it would throw me
But
off though because like I know some teams view him as a wide receiver, and we got the news that Hunter is going to play full time cornerback. So maybe they go a Eli Stowers, a Parker Washington, a Brian Thomas, a Jacoby Myers to, and then throw out Eli Stowers out there. I just feel like that's a lot of piece of the pie to go around. You feel me? So I don't know. I don't like that landing spot. That's probably my most hated one. If I'm being quite honest with you, so
it's
far I don't
definitely
love that.
confusing, and it just you kind of wonder where everybody fits in because you know Trevor Lawrence works best over the middle of the field, and so you're just gonna have two tight ends out there. You're gonna have you know two slot type guys out there, like, and you got BTJ out there just running wind sprints and hanging out by himself and not getting the football thrown his way very often.
And yes, yes, Chef. Skylar Bell did go to the Rams, and when I saw that, instantly in my head, when Devontae Adams leaves, who would they try trading this offseason? Skylar Bell, I take my word for this. If he were to get selected by the Rams, Skylar Bell is going to be a future All Pro. I'm here to say that off rip. He will be a future All Pro with the Rams if he were selected. Mike, what's happening with you? Good
What's up, Mike
evening.
Rob?
I feel like draft capital on Price is a lot for a team that just traded more draft capital for Monty. I mean, hey, yeah. I mean, if he's referencing the Jadarian Price here, who went to the Houston Texans. I think I don't see it happening because they still have Marks, right? Who looked cool, and then you just got Monty kind of do it. That's just a little bit too much for me. And whether unless you don't feel like you're going to have Monty for multiple years, right? One more. So I don't know. I think I agree with you, Mike, on that one. Looking at the rest of these picks, I think that was the rest of the offense. So let's finish out the third round.
Shit, I could absolutely see Houston drafting
Another
another.
running back, though.
I definitely could. I mean, you know, Monty's like pushing 30, and I mean, are we really sure they like Marks as much as we think they do? I mean, he got plenty of opportunity, but he wasn't super efficient with his touches. So, you got an aging Monty, and you got Marks, which I feel like I think they're gonna feel better with him as the receiving back, and as a change of pace. I think they definitely do have room for another, explosive runner, especially with the way that offense played in the playoffs. I think they're gonna want to kind of reinvest in that run game and make sure that they have horses there that they can lean on. Because I mean the defense is an all time defense. Um, one of the best we've ever seen. And if they just get halfway competent play out of their offense, which includes having a efficient running game and not just relying, Woody Marks, I think that team could. I think they're a dark horse to win the championship.
And then to start the third round, which I will say,
Oh, I'm OTC.
yes. To start the third round, Bryce Lance, Trey Lance's brother, goes to the Arizona Cardinals, who now have Marvin Harrison Jr., Bryce Lance, and Michael Wilson the third. Big motherfuckers as wide receivers, as I would like to say. Big body Benzes. Hopefully, Marvin Harrison can recapture his confidence and have a better year three. Michael Wilson, hopefully he can keep on a upward trajectory and not fall back or go backwards. And then with Trey Lance's brother Bryce Lance, I want to see because at North Dakota State That's cool. It's all dandy. We've seen a couple of guys come from there. Christian Watson himself, where the lights weren't too big and they've been able to produce in the NFL. So I actually like their core three. Their offense wise, though, I would just need to see something. I need to see some shape, right? So, and then we have a Tony. The Raiders went another wide receiver. They go Casey Concepcion. They really don't fuck. This simulator doesn't fuck with any of the Raiders' current wide receivers. Jack Batch, none of them, because they went and got Antonio Williams. And boy, I don't know how I would feel. I think I like Antonio Williams, the player, but then you start getting into a crowded wide receiver room, and this makes it less sexy. Where you would typically he would be going in the mid second, late second. I probably would. He probably would still go there, but I would want to go look at some other guys though. Keep it a buck.
I'm about
Mike,
to see.
Mike said, would Raiders really go Williams over Surratt when their number one pick has a connection with Surratt? See, and that's another thing with Surratt going to the Eagles, because the Eagles took Omar Cooper. So they got the Indiana boys. They took both Indiana boys in this draft.
I think it's. I mean, I think if they're overcompensating for losing AJ Brown potentially, um, uh, I don't know if it's.
They're not that type of offense though,
I
right?
don't know
Like
if it's. I don't know if it's realistic for them to go for that many receivers. You know, when they're a run based
you're a
offense.
run-based team.
Who what receivers we have on the board? I think I'm gonna
So
go. I
we
don't
still
think I'm
got
gonna go offense right here, and it would be sexy.
we still
Uh,
got Z
yeah,
Branch,
yeah.
Deion Burks, Ted Hurst, Malachi
Ooh,
Field.
yeah. I mean, we could use an explosive kick returner. So Branch is looking pretty nice right there. But I think I'm gonna take my chances that we can add more receiver talent in the later rounds. And if you want to go back to the general page, I think I'm going to take. I'm going to keep building my offensive line. Cesar Ruiz was one of the worst guards in the history of guarding things last year, and hopefully he gets obliterated right off of my team. And I'm going to get big nasty guard from Georgia Tech. Give me Rutledge.
Rutledge to the Saints. Let's see who comes. Zachariah Branch comes off the board right after, and he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see how the rest of this third round grades out. Yo, this mock is crazy because the Jaguars just took another tight end.
This draft is off the rails.
It's off the rails, man. I don't understand this shit at all, but it's the funny part of it. But Zachariah Branch comes off with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's a whole McCole Hardman version all over again. But I think he's a better wide receiver than McCole
He'll,
Hardman,
de- he'll definitely be overdrafted if he goes to the Chiefs.
100%. And then, but that also would put a nail in the coffin. I wouldn't say a nail in the coffin. I would just need to see how that wide receiver room shakes out. But Jalen Royals to see how all turns out. Mike Washington goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which pisses me off even more because of Caleb Johnson. So that would, if they want to do and irritate me even more, go ahead and make that move. Max Clare goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Once again, it doesn't make sense because they already drafted Eli Stowers in here. Come on, PFF. I know y'all laid off half of y'all workforce, but we got to get these mock drafts better, my G. And then looking at it, Garrett Nossenwire, the Steelers. Yes, he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What you said his name?
Sorry, Garrett Nossenwire. I said Miles Nossenwire, didn't I? Garrett Nossenwire goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's another good spot where he can compete with the Ohio State quarterback from last year. His name is slipping my mind, but I think he would become the QB2. And also it just depends on if Aaron Rodgers comes back. I know they've been in contact with them, and he should be making a decision soon. I don't really care if he does come back or not. Cowboys are on the clock. Who do we? I'm trying to remember who we went with. Jordan Tyson, Falk. We're still looking for a quarter.
You get you a QB1, get you some Alar.
I don't think I could do that one. It was too early to. I think I like Jalen. I might like Jalen Kilgore here.
Man, you put some squigglies on Nussmeier's name. You were like Nussmeier.
Nussmeier.
Yeah,
Nussmeier.
just Nussmeier.
I was my fan. Nussmeier.
Like Oscar Meyer and Nussmeier. From what I know.
Hey, listen, y'all be butchering people's names on accident. So if I am,
sometimes I butcher people's names on purpose just to mix it up a little bit.
we already went wide receiver. We already went already went edge. What linebackers are still out there? I would have actually selected if he was still on the fucking clock, but he got picked earlier. Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh, one of the best coverage linebackers in the draft. But I think who I absolutely do love here, and I don't think he's getting enough love, is a Harold Perkins. I'm gonna look at these corners one more time, but I think I'm gonna go with Harold Perkins. He gives I think he was playing hurt last year. It would be so much fun to see what Christian Parker can do with his talent.
Damn, the Eagles took Malachi Fields as well. God,
they were trying to make a point. Let's go to the third round. So we have, as we going down, we had my pick, Harold Perkins. Ted Hurst came off the board right after to the Rams. And once again, that would be more leaning towards if the Rams were, once again, we're trying to move Devontae Adams, but I think he stays this year, but they're thinking more about the future. You end up having or getting Puka Nacua, you end up having Ted Hurst, and then you end up having Skylar Bell. That is an elite wide receiver. And that's for the long term if it all pans out. My man reaching far down there like Mr. Fantastic. Literally. Literally rumbling down. But Ted Hurst, Sam Royce goes to the Miami Dolphins, which I think is actually a beautiful spot for him, where we saw old ass Darren Waller do his thing. Sam could, and he's another bigger tight end, could go in there and do his thing. And then, as Rocco pointed out, Malachi Fields goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. They had, I guess, this mock draft was trying to make a real point that the Eagles need wide receivers, and they need that shit now, expeditiously, without Devontae Smitty doing his thing.
They got Hollywood and Wicks.
They got Hollywood. I don't know.
I think they got they got a whole bunch of like wide receiver 4s and 5s, types. So I mean, none of those guys really replace Brown, but I think they're going to try to have more of a committee approach, like just have a bunch of good serviceable guys out there instead of having two really good wide receivers and a bunch of yuck, not very good wide receivers after Brown and Smitty. So it should be intriguing. It seems like it's a foregone conclusion at this point that AJ Brown, much to our guy Mystic Max, happiness. It looks like he's going to the Pats. So I feel like we may have a 1,500-yard AJ Brown season on its way in 2026. Could we see a career high, career best season for AJ Brown in 2026? He'll be motivated. He'll be on a team with a quarterback that can throw accurately to all levels of the field. And he'll be the absolute undisputed number one on that team. So it should be interesting once that deal becomes official.
Yeah, I think with AJ Brown, we could be in store for another big year. Who and the rookie in the draft? Who could you see sliding that would be out of the loop?
For who?
Just
What?
in general and rookie drafts, who could you see?
Oh,
Yeah.
in rookie drafts.
Do you think Fernando Mendoza slides down a little bit where he typically is going around that 105, 106?
I don't know. Him going at 102 seems to be consensus amongst content people, but I could tell you as somebody that's been in real drafts and a shitload of mocks, he generally does not go at 1.2, like every single time. For me, he's either the 1.4 or 1.5, depending on if you want to take Tyson at 4 or 5. A good landing spot could bump KC into that grouping, but that's about where I have it right now. As far as who can slip, a guy that I'm aggressively going to be going after, and I think Chev mentioned him right here, is Emmett Johnson. If you watch his film, it's just so funny. He can make people miss in a phone booth. Juke people out their shoes, and I feel like that skill translates to the NFL. Making people miss. Not taking constant punishment and getting those extra yards. And he's a really good pass catcher to boot. So he's a guy I'm super interested in who can, get a role right away, a fantasy friendly role right away if he can, assimilate and walk into being somebody's receiving running back at the very worst. He can eat away if they have a shaky starter.
Yeah, I'm with there with you, big dog. But that has been our landing spot simulated with PFF, even though we had to do it a couple of times. But we'll see tomorrow what actually does happen, what occurs. I think we could see some trades. We could see some movement. I feel like first round is always that, that day that there's been a lot of smoke up to this point. This team is looking to trade up. This team is looking to trade back. This team is looking to do this. Tomorrow we will see. And I can't wait. Which transition us to you still have time to go on League Champ and predict the first round of tomorrow's draft.
Oh shit,
B,
we didn't run out of ad.
well, we can do it now. B, yeah, get it right and be the most accurate picker. I'm going to do mine later. I'm going to do mine tomorrow as I break down kind of where I feel like teams are going. You start hearing a lot of noise tomorrow so make sure you're on Twitter. Make sure you're in your spaces where you get your NFL news because there's going to be a lot of smoke and debris. But it's up to you to determine and filter out the noise. But I'm Hacho, and this is my guy.
Siriaco, call me Rocco. Tomorrow is a very special day in the Rocco household. It's my wife's birthday, so she hates the draft because it always falls on her birthday every year. So we're gonna go out and have some fun, and I'll try to not go too crazy when the Saints pick, uh, and maybe slip her a few drinks before the draft comes on, so I can side eye the draft tomorrow night.
For her, a few drinks is a wild.
Not Darren Sharper style. Like we're married, so I'll have to slip in a Darren Sharper.
Easy to slip her some drinks is a wild sense, but nevertheless, happy birthday to the missus, and hopefully her birthday is amazing tomorrow, and you get two W's, your wife's birthday and your Saints pick Cardinal Tate or McConn Lemon, and don't let you down with some most bullshit, just like my Cowboys.
They probably will.
But
They definitely all. Every time I line up an awesome pick for the Saints, they fucking do some bullshit. So I'm prepared for just about anything tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
y'all enjoy your night. Thank you for tuning in. however you take tomorrow, how you prepare to be, handle the draft, whether it's at home, at the bar, some chicken wings, or a fist, two handfuls of beer. Enjoy your night, enjoy your evening. Until next time, this is Fourth and Fantasy. We'll be back with our post reactions from the real landing spots from tomorrow. Till next time, y'all enjoy your night, your evening, your morning, however you're viewing this. We are your fantasy playbook to more championship wins. And Rocco, the land of the what?
We are Fantasy Football Podcast for Dynasty Sickos by Dynasty Sickos. Everybody is welcome.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Watch out.